You're on air now.
Hello everyone, welcome to News Wrap Up on Aspheric TV. I am Dayo Olujumo Ekuni. Good evening.
Mustafa Abdulmalik.
I think I'm always jumping, not letting you give your own name.
Because I know you will quickly give me a different name.
No, that's not a different name actually. That's your name, that's your nickname, and I like it.
Okay.
Uncle Musti Lala.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, the presidential aspiration of the national leader of the All Progressives Congress APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has caused a division amongst governors and leaders of the party. Well, according to reports, Tinubu's presidential ambition has caused a rift between the APC governors and might affect the upcoming national convention of the party slated for February 26th. Well, in a chat with Vanguard at the weekend, a top party source said some governors are supporting Tinubu on his presidential ambition, while others are indifferent to the former governor's bid. The APC chieftain added that governors are yet to agree on the choice of a chairmanship candidate ahead of the national convention. The source argued that Tinubu is not desperate to become president in 2023, but wants the promise made to him during the formation of the party fulfilled. He added that the party must find a way to assuage the feelings of Tinubu and some founders of the party who are planning to succeed President Muhammad Buhari in 2023. Of course, this is, looking at it, it's definitely going to cause a lot of problems.
Yeah. But the question is this. Not a clause there. That's a kind of a pact reached at the formation of the party. Are they saying that, look, then they just sat down and decide on the future of Nigeria on behalf of over 150 million Nigerians that, look, Buhari rule. After you rule, you give me, I too, I will rule. That is exactly what they are saying. It's like playing a Ludo game with our destiny as a nation. So you understand? So I don't think whatever agreement they have is entirely their internal agreement as a party, so they can have what agreement they have. Tinubu is eligible to vie for any public office relating to as at least he was once a former governor, former senator, so he can still vie for anything. But what we are saying is that as a human being on his own, he should look and x-ray his ambition. Based on what the man said, the person is saying, that he's not desperate. He's not desperate. Is he telling Nigerians that Tinubu is not desperate? We have heard several rumors regarding how he wanted to deputize Buhari in 2015, but along the line, either Buhari himself now said no. He decided on a different alternative. Then Tinubu himself suggested Osibajo. You understand? So all these are desperation. You understand? If he's not desperate, he wouldn't have been spending his money supporting governors here and there. You understand? As far as former late governor aspirant in Kogi, Audu, he was the one that supported him financially and everything. He brought James Falake as his deputy. So we know all these processes. So the question of whether he's desperate or not, it shouldn't even arise at all. Understand? It shouldn't arise. Let's see how it goes. But I think it doesn't worth it. Outside Tinubu, there are other better options in APC. Much more younger than Tinubu himself.
Not just younger, they have the
like
strength.
We said this morning, we are not trying to like demonize his age, no,
No.
or health. But we're talking about objectivity. You understand? Come on, the man look more older than that 69. That
there was a video I saw of him while he was talking in the public. I mean, it looks as if he was shaking.
Even there is a word that as he was moving, he was almost staggering and almost falling. So we're not trying to like demonize his age.
No, we're not.
Because
we're just
age is something that it will come on everyone. Understand? So what we're saying is that Nigeria has suffered enough. We are clamoring for transition from older brigade to younger generation of Nigerians. You understand? So, if someone like Tinubu, let's agree that he's 69, but he doesn't look it. Since he doesn't look it, why can't he just be a kingmaker that he was all along? To say, okay, support someone that will take over from President Muhammadu Buhari. That is, if Nigerians decide to give them, give APC the mandate again. So, I know quite okay that his aspiration will tear apart APC. And if not properly managed, it will affect APC's fortune in 2023. You understand? Because we are talking about some governors are pro-Tinubu, some governors are somewhere else, some governors, in fact, within APC themselves, they have blocks. This block versus this block, the other one opposing this. That is why their convention, up till now, people don't even believe that the convention will happen, will take place. So you understand? So, but like we said before, at the appropriate time, President Muhammadu Buhari, being the leader, the father of the party, should be able to wade into the problem and provide that leadership. That is how PDP were able to manage themselves and stayed in power for good 16 years. So without absence of that, I can tell you for free that APC will go down.
Well, troops of the Nigerian army have carried out more successful operations against terrorists loyal to Boko Haram and the Islamic State of West Africa province ISWAP. The troops of Operation Hardin Kai in 2 different operations eliminated squads of Boko Haram, ISWAP terrorists in Borno and Yobe states. Confirming the development in a statement on Monday today, the Army Public Relations Officer, Brigadier General Onyema Uachuku, said weapons and other items were also recovered from the terrorists. Troops of the Nigerian Army have carried out more successful operations against terrorists loyal to Boko Haram. Yeah, I think I said that before. It gladdens my heart that there's improvement.
Yeah, there is improvement. Actually, the government invested much. Government invested massively in procurement of arms. You could remember the Super Tucano, 12 of them, and we are still expecting more. Then, apart from that, again, there are some heavy armaments, artillery armaments, and military training provided for the troops for them to succeed. You understand? So, there's a lot of improvement compared to before. Unlike before that, before you've been hearing about stories of killing of soldiers, killing of this, that.
But are you sure it has surprised or they are trying to cover the news?
Well, let's just take them by their words. They say, okay, they are succeeding. But one thing is that terrorism doesn't end only once.
It doesn't.
It takes time. Understand? We are looking at the military aspect, that is combative aspect, military force against, but terrorism goes beyond that. You understand? There is aspect of that indoctrination, that brainwashed mentality that has been planted in some of them. That can only be solved through proper teaching. You understand? So the people and the religious leader, the Islamic religious leaders, they should be able to come in too. You understand? This war has cost Nigeria a lot. 10 good years. We're not talking about the fund involved. We're talking about the human being. It has killed. They have killed over 100,000 of souls. That is the former figure. When we decide to go outside the former figure, you discover that over 200,000 lives have gone, including the military, and over 3 million to 5 million of people have been displaced. Like we said this morning, some people that were doing better before, today they are beggars. Go to IDP camps. Even some IDP camps around Abuja here, they came from northeast and they are here. So if the government can decide to just bring to an end this crisis now, this problem of terrorism now, it will be a welcome development. Nigerians will give a sigh of relief. Because we're talking about loss in manpower on the side of military. We're talking about people cannot ply roads. If you are going to Maiduguri from Yobe, at times, broad daylight, the terrorists could block the road and abduct people. Just the same way you see bandits doing in Northwest here. That is exactly what is happening there. So, kudos to the military. We should just take them by their words that they have been able to eliminate them.
Well, Belle Shmurda has replied the plea by the Lagos State University LASU for him to return to school and get his degree. Well, if you can recall, the singer had tweeted on his birthday that he was thankful he left LASU and went into music because he was broke and not doing well in school. Well, reacting to the post of his past struggle, the university reminded him that the school do not make people rich but simply incubate them to find and achieve purpose. They further begged him to come back to school and get his degree. Well, however, the singer maintained that 4 years in the university is nothing. He wrote, and I quote, 4 years in LASU is really nothing. Better get that money. The economy is starving.
I am sensing something. I don't know. Lately I've been disturbed. You understand? The manner young people see this money aspect. You know, to me, the young man is still in the school. Right now, he doesn't see school as anything again because he believes that money is the most important thing. He got it wrong. University, just like the university reminded him, university is purposely for something else. If at the end of your studies, it's earn you money, good and fine. But the first, when you are in tertiary institution, the first goal is knowledge. You understand? Even he's doing well in the music, but for him to do well in the music is because of the school he went to.
Are you sure about that? Two-Face did he go to the tertiary institution? And now it's like the king of
creativity and talent is inbuilt. But in a situation whereby Two-Face is relying on some producers or writers for him, you understand? You can't tell me that all the music that he does, he wrote them. No. So, but the role that the education play is a different thing. Even the management of your own finances, the management of your personnel, the management of his band is there. Education plays some role.
It's education, the same thing as being in the four walls of a school, of an institution. Yes. I mean, is it the same thing? Education, must you go to the four walls, or must you be in the four walls of an institution before you get educated?
In this part of the world, education means you going to formal schools to acquire that education. Someone can decide to sit in his room and involve himself in research and still get that education. But like LASU, what they are trying to tell him, come back and finish your studies and obtain that certificate. Certificate is a proof that you have been to the school. So, and the young man is saying no, that money is the most important thing here. So
maybe he feels that he will never be able to use that certificate.
Whether he will use it or not is better. That is his property. You understand? Someone like Davido, he was already in the music, but he still went back to finish his studies, even whether he completed his NYC or not.
I think every one of us will have different perspective about this going to school, because he said that, okay, while he was in school, he was broke. There was nobody to help him.
Yeah.
I mean, even the LASU, there was nothing to help him. And he was failing, sir. He was failing in his academy. He was having carryovers. So that's why I was thanking God that, oh, thank God, I left the school and I focused on music. And excuse me, sir. Sorry, sir. And even doing this music,
Yeah.
there's actually a proof that it grew with it.
Yeah.
So definitely there's a bit of education even in this music part of it. Because if you
sure?
had not been patient, I mean, patience is also being educated.
Yes,
because
yes.
if you are not patient, there's a level of education you've not gotten yet. Because patience is linked to education also.
Yeah.
So we all have different perspectives
Yes.
about this, and that's his own
You see, Dio,
perspective.
Dio, the young man is sending wrong signal
Of course.
outside there to some other aspiring young men that, look, tomorrow they could still say, what is the need of school? I could go into music. We're talking about Yahoo fraud, scammers. You understand? That's crime is ravaging our society now.
Yeah.
A lot of young men, a lot of the Yahoo boys are university boys, but they abandon their studies. I saw a write-up by one professor in Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoye. He wrote it that, look, even his own colleagues in the academia are now bowing to the Yahoo boys because they have money. You see, the rate at which we glorify money in this part of the world is becoming too alarming, and we must stop. We must put an end to it.
Can never be stopped.
I believe that it's due to poverty. You understand? If it's not because of poverty, how can a lecturer, a PhD holder, or he won't be able to he's now bowing before a Yahoo boy. He's old student.
Money.
Because of money, and due to rate of poverty, people don't believe in integrity anymore. People could sell their conscience for money. You understand? I think you heard about the story of
the teenage
boys.
Aish.
You understand? When I saw the pictures of the girl that they chopped off her head, and I wept. I could not control myself. I decided to see the pictures of the boys again. And when I saw it again, I said, look at it. 17 years old boy. What is he doing with money?
Oh Lord.
17 years old boy. That is the extent that our society is going. Morality. There's nothing like morality anymore.
We've lost the value.
And this thing, it starts from parents. You understand? Parents now don't even have time for their children. You understand?
So I'm sure it starts from parents, because if you look at some of these boys,
yes,
they came out from a very good family. Some even came out from a pastor family.
But when you mention pastor, are you telling me pastor doesn't have time?
Many of them, they taught them the way of the Lord. I mean, that they taught them the way of the Lord.
Yes.
And some that didn't even come from the pastor family, they came from even their mothers.
You must observe your children. You understand? Apart from the teaching, apart from say, Matthew, come, do this. Don't go out. Don't do this. You should be observant. You understand? If you are observant, you will definitely see red flag. If you see that red flag, you can make correction, and if you decide to ignore it, it will happen. You understand? For instance, when you buy maybe a kind of a small Android phone for your son, and tomorrow you are seeing him with iPhone, will you just ignore him to continue to use the iPhone, or you call him and say, okay, how did you get this? Because the iPhone, there is no way that you could see an iPhone today that doesn't cost, except the older generation of iPhone. Otherwise, there's no way that you see an iPhone today that will not cost above 300,000. Okay,
Mr. Abinsi, you said it's coming from the family.
Yes.
Have you not heard of of a child or a son that was brought up in the right way. And wait, sir. And at the end of the day, the child, that boy begins to prove, you know, I'm a big boy, this and that. And by the time this parent wants to correct him, they keep correcting him. It keeps becoming stubborn until when he leaves the house.
Let me give you an instance.
Now, what is the problem?
Let me give you an instance. In 2009, there was this underwear bomber, Umar Farouk in the US.
Yeah, Abdul Muttalab.
Do you know that his father observed some abnormality in his son? He observed it, and he called the attention of the Department of Security Service, State Security Service. He called the attention. He reported his son. He said, "Look, this is my son. I have observed something unusual about him." He called them to order that they should call this young man. I don't know what is wrong with his son. The young man was in UK, in school in UK for his masters. He did his first degree and he's doing his masters there, and he became indoctrinated into Islamic militant. You understand? So this is what we're talking about. The young man, while he was away from Nigeria, he became involved with some Islamists in UK, and he was brainwashed, and he became part of them. You understand? So, but as a father, as a very observant father, he could see that his son has changed. That is what we're talking about. And again, apart from that, again, some, like for instance, like these teenage boys, some of the parents are involved in occultic lifestyle. So by the time you see your father every day is doing some abnormal things, you'll be you see, Dio will know these things. Apart from saying we are not totally blaming the parent, you understand, because the growth of a child has phases by phases. I believe that probably in the last 5 years or so, you have not been with your parent. You understand? So you are entirely an independent woman, young lady, that you are on your own now. So what you do is completely outside the control of your parent. You understand? So, but these young men, they are still with their parent. You understand? Parents should the question of you see a parent today before 7 o'clock, they are already out. Some of them, they won't return home until 9. So what all these children are doing between 7 to 8 hours, who knows? The kind of friends they keep, who knows? There is this particular incident that I know very well. The woman is somehow related to me. The young man was here in Abuja. Suddenly he was arrested by, sometimes it happened last 2 years. The young man was arrested by SARS. They came and picked him. When they picked him, the mother was, their son is this, but me, I saw it coming. Because the woman, she's my sister, I called her attention. I said, look, this young man, the way I used to see him is not in order. And the kind of boys, the young man was just 17, going to 18 then. The kind of company he keep, this is where I used to see him. I said, now look. The woman said, no, look, that I don't like her son. You understand? So this is the role that parents are supposed to play. You understand? When you observe something unusual with your son or daughter, quickly correct it. If you don't correct it, it will become something else. You understand? So I know we are talking about the young man talking about music, the essence of music, and going to school. There's no two ways. The role of education is different. The role of a school is different. The role of music is different. Some people are in the school. They are doing some other menial jobs to keep themselves going and to be getting money. If you don't
have parents that actually believe in education, you will get to find some students getting discouraged too.
Yes. The aspect of one thing that could discourage a student easily is funding. Yeah. You understand? When a young man is in school, especially now that most of the schools they charge high tuition fee. Then you talk about his feeding. So some of them during exam they cannot even allow them to write the exam.
Where do you want him to get the money from?
So where do you want him to get the money from?
When he does retry, you complain.
So that is it. So a lot. We have a lot of things to address in as a nation. You understand? We have a lot. You know, sometimes ago, I think the National Assembly, one honorable member, or senator, suggested a education bank, a kind of exclusively education bank whereby students could approach for loan. Then after their studies, when they start working, they will start paying back. It's also good. You understand? It's also good. It will help.
Oh, well, of course, there are different kind of reasons why people commit suicide, why people, just take their life. I know when you sit people down that are depressed and ask them why, everyone answers for a reason. And those people that have died out of suicide, if they are to be brought back and you ask them, they'll have reasons. And a woman who jumped to her death from a New York City high-rise apartment building. She has been identified as former Miss USA Chisley Chris, that's 2019 pageant winner. Really, she's beautiful. Really, really pathetic and all. I think
it's pathetic.
We should all be sensitized.
Generally, before suicide, there will be depression. You understand? So I believe that people should learn to talk to people around.
I mean, she has been communicating on her social media handle, even just hours before her death.
Yes.
She actually said on her Instagram that may this day bring you rest and peace. When I'm not talking to my peers,
actually referring to herself.
When I'm not talking to my counselor, I spend time at the end of every single day to just decompress. I unplug. I shut my phone off. I don't answer messages. I just sit and watch my favorite movies. Definitely, she has been living in
isolation.
So there was a time on my Facebook Facebook handle, I saw a message of a girl. She was confessing that she's been depressed and all. It seems the suicide thought has been coming to her because I feel everything has not really been going well for her. So she just went online. Do you know what happened? People started looking for her. People started looking for her. She's better now. People started looking for her. Some celebrities had to just go to her place, to just encourage her in God that she believes.
If you ask me, I will tell you, no matter what, suicide is not an alternative. No matter what, you understand? Yeah. For instance, this beauty pageant, in our own case, is a different thing because what they see in the Western world as suffering is different thing to us here. At times, it's not the suicide. People committing suicide. It's not even as a result of suffering. You understand? Some of them, when they discover that people that they're supposed to communicate and relate with are not there for them, they just feel as if they are unloved. You understand? So I believe her case is as a result of between her old self and the new life when she became Miss USA. You understand? So a situation whereby someone that lived in the midst of people suddenly now become isolated from the people because of her new status, her new fame. You understand? It will lead to problem. You understand? So I don't believe she's living in a part of the New York, one of the highbrow part in New York. You understand? So the question of poverty is not there. The question of condition, I don't see it that way. She became isolated based on her new status, her new fame. You understand? So, but we should continue to propagate suicide should not be an option. No matter what the condition that someone is into, suicide should not be an alternative. It shouldn't be something that somebody will even contemplate about, because no matter the condition, time will come that the condition will, on its own, it will fizzle out from your life.
I think she really didn't have people to talk to because she was saying that I do a lot to make sure that I maintain my mental health, and the most important thing that I did is talk to a counselor. She's really easy to talk to. So I just feel maybe she really didn't. I agree to what you said.
You understand? You see, a condition now, a new elevation status could make some people become introverts. You understand? You as someone that you have people around you, because suddenly now, because of your new status now, you are now barricaded from the loved ones. You understand? And gradually it will become sickness to you. You understand? So may her soul rest in peace.
Amen. Thank you all for staying with us on News Wrap Up at Spheric TV. I am Dario Lujumo Ekuni.
And I remain Mustafa Abdul Malik.
Thank you, Mustilala.
Are you afraid to call me Mustafa?
Thank you, everyone. Please do have a wonderful night first. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media handles. Facebook at Spheric News, Instagram at aspheric.news, and Twitter at Aspheric News. Good night, everyone. Bye.